Hello and welcome to Leeroy Gaming, where today we continue our coverage of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. And in today's video, we have a really big topic to cover. I am going to look and go through all of the feats in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. This includes the unique Oriad feats, as well as the brand new Kitsune feat, and as well as the Dampier feat. So all of those are going to be included in this video. Hey guys, it's Leroy from the future here. A quick addendum to this introduction. Originally, I shot this as one large video, but when I uploaded it to YouTube and started working on all of my timestamps, I completely ran out of room. Wasn't even close. So it was either cheat you guys out of the timestamps or basically split this video into two, tape a new intermission, new intro, new outro, MacGyver it as best as I can, and I chose to go with that option. So again, sorry about the weird edits, but I have never even come close to maximizing the description word count, but I did. So anyways, back to present Leroy, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. If you're used to my videos by now, you're going to know that my videos are in-depth. I narrate all the information, so it's going to be a long one. You got to get ready. I don't know, get your coffee, get your bag of chips. For me, just making this is going to be big. So I got my kind of unofficial sponsor over here, Rain Energy Drink. I'm going to need this 300 milligrams of caffeine just to get through this. It's going to be a good one, guys. Now, I do want to point out, I'm going to have a separate video for the Mythic Feats when I cover the Mythic system, the Mythic abilities, etc. So that will be separate. But everything else is right here where you need them. And as I mentioned before, because this is so in-depth, I'm going to have timestamps for all of these feats. So you're going to see this gigantic list in the description. Take advantage of it. I hope you like it and appreciate it. If you do like it, if you do appreciate this content, like, subscribe, share, comment below. Love hearing from you guys. With that introduction out of the way, let's get started with the feats in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So we're going to start and we're going to go alphabetically. So at the very top, we have Alertness. So you get a +2 bonus on perception skill checks. And if you have 10 or more ranks in the skill, the bonus increases to +4. Next is Allied Spellcaster. You get intelligence of 3. With the aid of an ally, you are skilled at piercing the protections of other creatures with your spells. Benefit: whenever you are adjacent to an ally who also has this feat, you receive a +2 bonus on concentration checks and level checks made to overcome spell resistance. Arcane Armor Training requires intelligence 3. You have learned how to cast spells while wearing armor. Benefit: reduce the arcane spell failure chance due to armor you are wearing by 10% for any spells you cast. Armor Focus. A feat is well, you know what a feat is. There's 3 different versions of Armor Focus. You're going to have Heavy Armor Focus. The AC bonus granted by any heavy armor that you equip increased by 1. Light Armor Focus. AC bonus granted by any light armor that you equip increased by 1. Medium Armor Focus. The AC bonus granted by any medium armor that you equip increased by 1. And you do need to have a BAB of 1 minimum in this. And also you're going to need armor proficiencies. The BAB requirement means that 3/4 BAB and half BAB casters will not be able to pick this up at level 1. Next, we have Blind Fight. So in melee, every time you miss because of concealment, you can reroll your mischance percentile roll 1 time to see if you actually hit. An invisible attacker gets no advantage related to hitting you in melee. That is, you don't lose your dexterity bonus to armor class, and the attacker doesn't get that usual +2 bonus for being invisible. Invisible attackers' bonus do still apply for ranged attacks, however. You also gain immunity to gaze attacks. Next, we have Brew Potions. Now, this is a new feature in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous where you can actually brew potions. So, allows you to brew potions of spells up to level 3 during camping. Combat Casting requires intelligence 3. You're adept at spellcasting when threatened or distracted. You get a +4 bonus on concentration checks made to cast a spell or use a spell-like ability. Combat reflexes. You can make a number of additional attacks of opportunity per round equal to your dexterity bonus. With this feat, you may also make attacks of opportunity while flat-footed. Coordinated defense requires intelligence 3. Whenever you are adjacent to an ally who also has this feat, receive a +2 competence bonus to your combat maneuver defense. This bonus increases to +4 if the creature attempting the maneuver is larger than both you and your ally. Coordinated maneuver. You're skilled at working with your allies to perform dangerous combat maneuvers. Benefit: whenever you are adjacent to an ally who also has this feat, you receive a +2 competence bonus on all combat maneuver checks. This bonus increases to +4 when attempting to break free from a grapple. Deceitful. You get a +2 bonus on all persuasion and trickery skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in one of these skills, the bonus increases to +4 for that skill. Defensive combat training. You excel at defending yourself from all manner of combat maneuvers. Benefit: you treat your total hit dice as your base attack bonus when calculating your combat maneuver defense. Deft hands. You gain a +2 bonus on all trickery and use magic device skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in one of these skills, the bonus increases to +4 for that skill. Destructive dispel. When you successfully make a targeted dispel check against an opponent, that opponent must succeed a fortitude save DC equal to the DC of the spell used to dispel, or be stunned until the start of your next turn. If the save succeeds, the opponent is instead sickened until the start of your next turn. Die Hard. You can only get this if you do not have orc ferocity, so you can't be an orc. You're especially hard to kill when your hit point total is below 0, but you're not killed. You can fight for one more round as if disabled. At the end of your next turn, unless brought to above 0 hit points, you immediately fall unconscious. And the reason you can't get this when you are an orc is because you basically have the same, the orc ferocity is the same thing. Dispel synergies. Next, if you successfully dispel an ongoing magical effect on an opponent, that opponent takes a -2 penalty on saving throws against your spells for 1 round. Elemental focus. And so there's going to be 4 different ones that you can choose from. Elemental focus acid. Add +1 to difficulty class for all saving throws against spells that deal acid damage. So elemental focus cold is the same, but for cold damage spells. Elemental focus electricity is the same thing, but for electrical damage. And elemental focus fire, same thing, but for fire damage. Endurance. Harsh conditions or long exertions do not easily tire you. Benefit: you gain a +2 bonus on athletic checks and +4 on fortitude saves against fatigue and exhaustion. You may sleep in light or medium armor without becoming fatigued. Exotic weapon proficiencies. So there's going to be a bunch of them, and basically this makes you proficient of a specific type of weapon. So this is very useful if, let's say, you're a non-martial class and you want to get access to a specific weapon, or you are a martial class and you want to get access to an exotic weapon. So these are all going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go over what the options are. So there's one for bastard sword, dueling sword, dwarven grosh, dwarven war axe, elven curved blade, estoc, falcata, falcard, gnome hooked hammer, kama, nunchaku, orc double axe, sai, sling staff, tongi, and 2 bladed swords. So these are all, like I said, kind of specialty, advanced kind of weapons. Next, we got Great Fortitude. You get a +2 bonus on all fortitude saving throws. Improved initiative. Your quick reflexes allow you to react rapidly to danger. Get a +4 bonus on initiative checks. Improved unarmed strike. You're considered to be unarmed or armed even when unarmed. You can make unarmed attacks that deal 1d3 bludgeon damage if medium, 1.1d2 if small. Intimidating prowess. Your physical might is intimidating to others. Benefit, you add your strength modifier to persuasion when used to intimidate checks in addition to your charisma modifier. So notice this is in addition. So you add your charisma and your strength modifier, make this way more powerful. Unless, for example, you have really poor charisma, like in the negative modifiers, if you used it as a stat dump, then this can still help, but you still have to deal with that negative factor too. Iron Will, you get a +2 bonus on all will saving throws. Lightning Reflexes, you get a +2 bonus on all reflex saving throws. Meta Magic Empower Spell. You can increase the power of your spells, causing them to deal more damage. Benefit, all variable numeric effects of an empowered spell are increased by half, including bonus to those rolls. Saving throws and opposed rolls are not affected, nor are spells without random variables. Level increase +2. An empowered spell uses up a spell slot 2 levels higher than a spell's actual level. Now, in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, there's a really cool little interface. You can click on a spell in the spell book, and then there's a little button at the bottom where you can kind of modify it. You add however many different unlocked meta magic feats you have. You can, again, just add 1, 2, potentially 3, and then it's going to upgrade that spell, and that modified spell gets put in the proper level of your spell book, and then you can add it just like you would any other spell. So you could basically, like, for example, I'm using Animate Dead currently, and I have a level 3 version, and then I have a level 4 version that basically makes it last double the time, and then potentially I could get a level 5 version by adding that and also one other effect. So it's a way for you to get more out of a spell, or if you want to duplicate the same spell across levels and have more powerful versions of them, this is how you do it. It's got a good interface. Okay, next we got Meta Magic Extend Spell. You can increase the power of your spells, causing them to deal more damage. Benefit. Oh, sorry, just kidding. Let's put that again. There we go. Extend Spell. You can make your spells last twice as long. An extended spell lasts twice as long as normal. A spell of a duration of concentration, instantaneous or permanent, is not affected by this feat, and a level increase on this is +1. Meta Magic Heightened. You can cast spells if they were at a higher level. Benefit, a heightened spell has a higher spell level than normal, up to a maximum 9th level. Unlike other magic feat, heightened spell actually increases the effective level of the spell that it modifies. All effects depend on spell level, such as saving throw DCs and ability to penetrate a lesser globe of invulnerability, are calculated according to heightened level. Level increase, the heightened spell is as difficult to prepare and cast as a spell of its effective level. Meta Magic Maximize Spell. Your spells have the maximum possible effect. Benefit, all variables, numeric effects of a spell modified by this feat are maximized. Saving throws and opposed rolls are not affected, nor are spells without random variables. So if something has like 3d6, it would automatically do 18 damage. Or if it says, summon 1d3 plus 1 monsters, it would automatically summon 4 monsters. A level increase is +3. An empowered maximize spell gains the separate benefits of each feat. The maximum results plus half the normal rolled results. So that's very interesting. It just explains how empowered and maximize function together. But this is an expensive one because, again, this one in particular adds +3 levels to it. Next, we got Meta Magic Quicken Spell. You can cast spells in a fraction of the normal time. Benefit: casting a Quicken Spell is a swift action. You can perform another action, even casting another spell, in the same round as you cast a Quicken Spell. A spell whose casting time is more than 1 round or 1 full round action cannot be quickened. Level increase +4. So it's going to use up a slot 4 levels higher than the spell's actual level. Casting a Quicken Spell doesn't provoke an active opportunity, attack of opportunity. That's actually huge. So if you have like a long casting heal or a summon spell, for example, that takes a little bit to cast, this will make it so you're not getting hit automatically if they're in enemies are in melee range. Special: you can apply this effect of this feat to a spell cast spontaneously, so long as it has a casting time that is no more than 1 full round action, without increasing the spell's casting time. Okay, and then we have Meta Magic Reach spell. Your spells go farther than normal. You can alter a spell of a range of touch, close, or medium to increase its range by 1 range category using the following order: touch, close, medium, and long. Level increase +1. Spell modified by this feat that require melee touch attacks instead require ranged touch attacks. Spells that do not have a range of touch, close, medium, or medium do not benefit from this feat. Okay, next we have Persuasive. You get a +2 bonus on all Persuasion and Perception skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in one of these skills, the bonus increases to +4 for that skill. Point Blank Shot. You get a +1 bonus on attack and damage rolls with ranged weapons at ranges of up to 30 feet. Power Attack. You can choose to take -1 penalty on all melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain a +2 bonus on all melee damage rolls. This bonus to damage is increased by half, +50%, if you're making an attack with a 2-handed weapon, a 1-handed weapon using 2-handed hands, or a primary natural weapon that adds 1 and 1.5 times of your strength modifier on damage rolls. The bonus to damage is halved, -50%, if you are making an attack with an off weapon or second natural weapon. When your base attack bonus reaches +4, and every 4 levels thereafter, the penalty increases by -1, and the bonus to damage increases by +2. The effect of this feat lasts until your next turn. The bonus damage does not apply to touch attacks or effects that do not deal hit point damage. Do note this is kind of a toggle in the game. You can just toggle it on and off. Since you probably wouldn't want to have to click it every round. Rapid Shot. When making a full attack of a ranged weapon, you can fire 1 additional time this round at your highest bonus. All of your attack rolls take a -2 penalty when using Rapid Shot. So not so great if you're like a partial BAB caster, for example. But if you're higher level, or if you're a dedicated archer with some high level equipment, this definitely can be very, very helpful. Scribe Scrolls allows you to craft scrolls during camping. This is a new feature in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. During camping, in addition to being able to cook food and now do potions, etc., you can also basically make scrolls. It takes some time. It's still buggy. I haven't really gotten it to work yet, but in theory, you're supposed to be able to get components and basically just produce scrolls, any scrolls you want. All right, shake it off. When you are adjacent to 1 or more allies who also have this feat, you get a +1 bonus on saving throws per such ally. Maximum is +4. Shield Bash. And you do need some sort of shield proficiency, obviously, for this. You can't get this without shield proficiencies. You may attack with light and heavy shields. This incurs standard penalties for 2-weapon fighting if you have a weapon in your other hand. A light shield deals 1d4 damage and is considered a light weapon. a heavy shield is 1d6 damage and is considered a one-handed weapon. Shield focus also requires some form of shield proficiency. Increases the AC bonus granted by any shield you are using by 1. Shield wall. Whenever you are wielding a shield and are adjacent to an ally wielding a shield who also has this feat, the AC bonus from your shield increases depending on the shield wielded by your ally. If your ally is wielding a buckler or a light shield, your shield bonus increases by +1. If your ally is wielding a heavy shield or a tower shield, your shield bonus increases +2. You keep these bonuses even if your ally loses his shield bonus due to making shield bash attack. If an adjacent ally with this feat uses a tower shield to grant total cover, you also benefit if an attack targeting you passes through the edge of the shield. So that's a nice bonus too. Shielded caster. Your allies cover you while you cast complicated spells. Benefit. When you're adjacent to an ally who also has this feat, you receive a +4 competence bonus on concentration checks. If your ally is wielding a buckler or light shield, this bonus increases +1 to +5. And if your ally is wielding a heavy shield or a tower shield, this bonus increases by +2, meaning +6. Skill focus. So there's going to be one for each skill. And basically the way it works, so using skill focus athletics as an example, you get a +3 bonus on all checks involving athletics. If you have 10 or more ranks in athletics, this bonus increases to +6. And notice it says rank, so you have to actually put 10 points in it, which you may end up you having 14 or 16 like total in it or something like that. But the point is you actually do need to put 10 ranks to get that +6. And again, this works for athletics, knowledge arcana, knowledge world, lore nature, lore religion, mobility, perception, persuasion, stealth, trickery, and use magic devices. Next, we have spell focus. And again, this is going to work for each of the schools of magic. And so using abjuration as an example, you choose a school of magic. Any spell you cast of that schools are more difficult to resist. The benefit is you add +1 to the difficulty class for all saving throws against spells from the school of magic you select. Special, you can gain this feat multiple times. It affects do not stack. Each time you take the feat, it's applied to a different school of magic. And again, it's good for abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. Then we have spell penetration. Your spells break through spell resistance more easily than most. You get a +2 bonus on caster level checks, 1d20 plus caster level, made to overcome a creature's spell resistance. Next, we got stealthy. You get a +2 bonus on all mobility and stealth skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in one of these skills, the bonus increases to +4 for that skill. Throw anything. You receive a +1 circumstance bonus on attack rolls made with thrown splash weapons. Toughness. You gain +3 hit points. For every hit die you possess beyond 3, you gain an additional +1 hit point. If you have more than 3 hit dice, you gain +1 hit points whenever you gain a hit die, such as when you gain a level. And a hit die, you get 1 hit die per level, basically. Weapon finesse. You gain with a light weapon, elven curved blade, S-stock, or rapier made for a creature of your size category, you may use your dexterity modifier instead of your strength modifier on attack rolls. Notice this is only for attack rolls, not for damage rolls. Weapon focus. And there's going to be one for each weapon type here. Basically, you choose a weapon type. You can also choose unarmed strike, or if you're a spellcaster, melee or ranged touch attack as your weapon for the purpose of this feat. The benefit is you get a +1 bonus on all attack rolls you make using the selected weapon, and you can take this multiple times selecting different options. And the options are Bardish, Battle Axe, Bite, Claw, Club, Dagger, Dart, Earthbreaker, Falchion, Flail, Glaive, Gore, great axe, great club, great sword, hand axe, heavy crossbow, heavy flail, heavy mace, heavy pick, heavy shield bash, javelin, kukri, light crossbow, light hammer, light mace, light pick, light shield bash, long bow, long spear, long sword, punching dagger, quarterstaff, rapier, ray, scimitar, scythe, short bow, short sword, short spear, sickle, spear, spiked heavy shield, bash, spiked light shield bash, star knife, throwing axe, touch, trident, unarmed attack, warhammer, bastard sword, bomb, dueling sword, dwarven urgosh, grosh, dwarven war axe, elven curve blade, estoc, falcata, falcard, gnome hooked hammer, hand crossbow, heavy repeating crossbow, kama, kinetic blast, light repeating crossbow, nunchaku, orc double blade, other natural weapons, sai, shuriken, siangam, sling, sling staff, tail, tongi, two weapon blade, and two weapon blades. So, if you're new to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, or any of the Pathfinder games, yes, those are all of the different weapon types in the game, and they're all present. So it's maybe 3 to 4, maybe 5 times more that you find in a traditional game. So yeah, this game is deep, deep, deep. All right, next, and I got to be careful here because moving forward, I can't click on any of them. So I have to be very careful I don't accidentally move over and read the wrong stuff to you. So wish me luck. Okay, next. Ability focus bombs. Requires bomb or arcane bombs. Add +2 to the DC for all saving throws against your bombs. Accomplish sneak attacker. Your sneak attack damage increases by 1d6. Number of sneak attack dice cannot exceed half your character level, rounded up. So this is good if you're not like a full rogue and you basically want to make up some of the sneak attack dice that you would have otherwise gotten if you were a pure rogue. Advanced weapon training. So you're going to select one advanced weapon training option, applying it to your fighter weapon groups you have selected with the weapon training class feature. So this is an advanced feature for fighters at level 20. Yep. And there's also one at level 15, 10, and 5. And again, you basically have to be a fighter, and it's going to give you extra benefits when using those specific weapons. Agile maneuvers. You've learned to use your quickness in place of brute force when performing combat maneuvers. Benefit. You add your dexterity bonus to your base attack bonus and size bonus when determining your combat maneuver bonus instead of your strength bonus. That's really big. If you are a dex monkey, if you've got, if you've been really neglecting or using strength as your stat dump, normally your CMB is going to be really, really poor. Because of that, well, this lets you use dex instead. Because as it states here, normally you add strength bonus to your base attack bonus. Okay, Aldori Dueling Master. So you need a weapon focus in dueling swords. You need proficiency in dueling swords. You need weapon finesse and dexterity of 13. And intelligence 3, and I again stopped mentioning that because player characters cannot stat dump all the way to 3. This is just insinuating that like monsters and stuff that have really low intelligence cannot get this. So you gain a +2 bonus on initiative checks as long as you start combat with a dueling sword. As long as you wield only a single dueling sword in one hand, not using a shield or an offhand, you get a +2 shield bonus to your AC. Although the dueling sword deals slashing damage, you treat it as if it was a piercing weapon when determining the effects of weapons used by a duelist. Okay, Arcane Armor Mastery. It requires Arcane Armor training. You have mastered the ability to cast spells while wearing armor. Benefit: reduces the arcane spell failure chance due to armor you are wearing by 20% for any spell you cast. This bonus replaces and does not stack with the bonus granted by arcane armor training. So basically, if you want to be like a mage that can wear armor, there you go. Arcane Strike requires the ability to cast arcane spells. Spending a swift action each round, you can imbue your weapon with a fraction of your power. For 1 round, your weapon deals +1 damage and are treated as magic for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. For every 5 caster levels you possess, this bonus increases by +1 to a maximum of +5 at 20th level. Armor proficiency heavy. And so what's important here is armor proficiencies are progressive. So the heavy one allows you to become proficient with heavy weapons, but you also need to have medium armor proficiency and light. So you start with light armor proficiency. If, for example, you don't have any proficiencies and you normally can't wear any armor, then you could potentially get medium armor proficiency and then potentially heavy armor proficiency. You can't just go from nothing to heavy armor, for example. Okay, augment summoning. It requires spell focus conjuration. Each creature you conjure of any summoned spell gains a +4 enhancement bonus to strength and constitution for the duration of the spell that it's summoned. Back to back. It requires perception 3, so 3 ranks in perception. Your ally's eyes are your own, and yours are his. Benefit: while you're flanking and adjacent to an ally with this feat, you receive +2 circumstantial bonus to AC against attacks from opposing opponents flanking you. Bashing finish. Okay, this one's require a lot. Proficiency in light shield proficiency or heavy shield proficiency. Shield bash, 2-weapon fighting, a base attack bonus of 11, and shield master. You follow a powerful blow from your weapon with an opportunistic bash from your shield. Benefit: whenever you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, you can make a shield bash attack against the same target using the same bonus as a free action. So if you're heavily committed to all these feats, this is pretty nice. Blinding critical. It requires a base attack bonus of 15 and critical focus. Whenever you score a critical hit, your opponent is permanently blinded. A successful fortitude save reduces this to dazzled for 1d4 rounds. The DC of the fortitude save is equal to 10 plus your base attack bonus. This feat has no effect on creatures that do not rely on eyes for sight or creatures of more than 2 eyes. Blindness can be cured by heal, regenerate, remove blindness, or similar abilities. Special: you can only apply this effect on 1 critical feat to a given critical hit unless you possess critical mastery. Blood Drinker. Now this is a Dampier unique feat. 3 times per day, you can drink blood from an unconscious, helpless, sleeping, or paralyzed living creature. You can also drink blood from corpses or of living creatures. Whenever you drink blood from such a creature, you gain 5 temporary hit points plus 5 for every 3 hit dice you have, and a +1 bonus on fortitude saving throws. The effect lasts 1 hour. And then you can get Blood Feaster, also unique to the Dampier. And it requires that you also have taken Blood Drinker previously. Whenever you use Blood Drinker feat, you gain +2 bonus on damage rolls and a +1 bonus on athletics checks. The bonus lasts for a number of rounds equal to 1/2 your hit dice. Boon Companion requires that you have an animal companion. Your bond with your animal companion is unusually close. The abilities of your animal companion are calculated, though your class were 4 levels higher, to a maximum effect level equal to your character level. This is important because some classes will say innately that your character level is, or your companion / mounts animal companion level is like druid level -3 or -4. So that makes up for it. Or if you multi-class, and so if you're dipped 1, 2, 3, or 4 levels into a different class, and then let's say you're a druid that would normally equal your druid class, well, you take this and it makes up for the fact that you get, up to 4 levels in something else. So it is useful in multiple ways. Bull Rush requires power attack, strength 13 as well. This feat gives the character an ability to perform the Bull Rush combat maneuver. It also grants a +2 bonus to CMB when performing this maneuver, and a +2 bonus on CMD when defending against it. A Bull Rush attempt to push an opponent straight back without doing any harm. If your combat maneuver is successful, your target is pushed back 5 feet. For every 5 feet, which your attack exceeds your opponent's CMD, you can push the target back an additional 5 feet. An enemy being moved by a Bull Rush does not provoke an attack of opportunity because of the movement unless you possess the Greater Bull Rush feat. You cannot Bull Rush a creature into a square that is occupied by a solid object or obstacle. Cautious Fighter. This requires you to be a halfling. When fighting defensively, your dodge bonus to AC increases by 2. So normally it's +4, this will up it to +6. Cleave. This requires strength of 13 and also for you to have power attack. As a standard action, you can make a single attack at your full base attack bonus against a foe within reach. If you hit, you deal damage normally and can make an additional attack using your full base attack bonus against a foe that is adjacent to the first and also within reach. You can only make one additional attack per round of this feat. When you use this feat, you take a -2 penalty to your AC class until your next turn. You basically open up yourself up for attacks. Cleave and Finish. This requires cleave, power attack, and a strength of 13. If you make a melee attack and your target drops to 0 or fewer hit points as a result of your attack, you can make another melee attack using your highest base attack bonus against another opponent within reach. You can make only one extra attack per round of this feat. Clustered Shot. This requires a base attack bonus 6, precision shot, and point blank shot. You take a moment to carefully aim your shots, causing them all to strike nearly the same spot. Benefit: when you use a full attack to make multiple ranged weapon attacks against the same opponent, total damage from all hits before applying the opponent's damage reduction. So instead of, let's say, if the enemy has a damage reduction of 5 and you shoot 3 attacks in a round, instead of each one of them subtracting 5 damage, instead, let's say each one of those attacks did 6 damage. Normally, you would only do 3 times 1 because it's 6 minus 5. Well, here you can total up 6 plus 6 plus 6, 18 minus 5, and now you've actually done 13 damage instead of 3. So this could be a huge difference. Combat Expertise. It requires an intelligence of 13. This is also why a lot of times you'll see fighters, people that make guides for fighters, they will have 13 as kind of like this magic number for intelligence. Now, there are ways with special extra combat feats. Sometimes they'll say, you can take this bonus combat feat and to ignore the prerequisites. So one of the prerequisites could be the intelligence, but in a lot of other cases, if you want to do some of these kind of more technical combat feats, you need that magical 13 intelligence. So you can choose to take -1 penalty on melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks to gain a +1 dodge bonus to your armor class. And remember, dodge bonus to armor class stacks. It's the only type of the same named AC bonus that stacks. So you can't have 2 different armor or natural armor or any other armor effects to stack. The different types stack, so you can stack armor and natural armor and then dodge, for example. But here you can have 3 different sources of dodge bonus. They will all stack. So when our base attack bonus reaches +4, and every +4 thereafter, the penalty increases by -1, and the dodge bonus increases +1. You can only choose to use this feat when you declare that you are making an attack or full attack with a melee weapon. The effect of this feat lasts until your next turn. This is also a toggle. If you pick this up off and on, so you can just perpetually get way more AC for less attack. Okay, combat mobility. This requires dexterity of 13 and the dodge feat. You can easily move through dangerous melee. Benefit, you get a +4 dodge bonus to armor class against attacks of opportunity caused when you move out or within a threatened area. A condition that makes you lose your dexterity bonus to armor class, if any, also makes you lose its dodge bonus. And it states here, dodge bonuses stack with each other, unlike most types of bonuses. Carnugon Smash. That's a great name. Requires persuasion of 6 ranks, and power attack. When you damage an opponent with a power attack, you may make an immediate persuasion intimidate check as a free action to attempt to demoralize your opponent. So if you have this feat, as long as you have your power attack enabled, like your toggle, this will proc. Which is pretty nice, actually. Crane Riposte. Okay. So there's a lot of prerequisites to these. So you need to be a monk of level 7 or have a base attack bonus of 8. You need the crane style, crane fighting style. You need the crane wing feat. You need to have improved unarmed strike, and you need to have dodge. You take only a -1 penalty on attack rolls for fighting defensively. That's huge. When you lose the dodge bonus from crane wing because an attack missed you by 4 or less, the enemy provokes an attack of opportunity. Okay. Crane style. So this is the crane style. That's the prerequisite we just saw. You need to be a monk level of 1 to get this, or have a base attack bonus of 2. You need to have improved unarmed strike. So like a fighter could technically do it if he picked up improved unarmed strike at level 2 and needs dodge. You take only a -2 penalty on attack rolls for fighting defensively. While using this style and fighting defensively, you gain an additional +1 dodge bonus for your to your armor class. Crane Wing requires monk level 5 or a base attack bonus of 5. You need the crane style. You need improved unarmed strike and dodge. When fighting defensively with at least 1 free hand, you gain a +4 dodge bonus to AC against melee attacks. If a melee attack misses you by 4 or less, you lose this dodge bonus until the beginning of your next turn. So this is big when you're trying to basically deal with multiple attacks hitting you, trying to hit you every turn. Critical focus, you need a base attack bonus of 9. You're trained the art of causing pain. You receive a +4 circumstance bonus on attack rolls made to confirm critical hits. Critical mastery, you need to be a fighter of level 14. You need critical focus, and you need to have 2 of the following features: blinding critical, exhausting critical, sickening critical, staggering critical, and tiring critical. Any 2 of those. And the effect is when you score a critical hit, you can apply the effect of 2 critical feats in addition to the damage dealt, while normally you can only apply the effect of 1 critical feat to a given critical hit in addition to damage bonus. So you could, for example, apply a blinding critical and staggering critical. Crushing blow requires stunning fist and improved unarmed strike. Or you can make a stunning fist attempt as a full round action. If successful, instead of stunning your target, you reduce the target's AC by an amount equal to your wisdom modifier for 1 minute, which is a big deal. That's 10 rounds. The penalty does not stack with other penalties applied due to crushing blow. So normally, yeah, even if, a lot of times monks will have a wisdom modifier as long as they're a normal monk and not the charisma-based monk, which would be, I believe, like the dragon, the dragon-styled monk. If you have like a plus or 18 wisdom, +4 right there, so that's gonna lower the enemy's AC by 4, which could make a big difference. All right, that's crushing blow. Dazzling display, it requires weapon focus, and obviously you need to be wielding the weapon that you have the weapon focus in. Your skill with your favorite weapon can fight enemies. Benefit, while wielding a weapon in which you have weapon focus, You can perform a bewildering show of prowess as a full round action. Make a persuasion and intimidation check to demoralize all foes within 30 feet who can see your display. All right. So don't use it on any blind targets. Deadly aim. Requires dexterity of 13, base attack bonus of 1. You can choose to take a -1 penalty on all range attack rolls to gain a +2 bonus on all ranged attack damage rolls. I said that wrong. All just ranged damage rolls, not attack rolls. When your base attack bonus reaches +4, and every 4 thereafter, the penalty increases by -1, and the bonus to damage increases by 2. You must choose to use this feat before making an attack roll, and its effect lasts until your next turn. The bonus damage does not apply to touch attacks or effects that do not deal hit point damage. And again, in-game, this is a toggle. Deflect arrows. Dexterity 13 requirement and improved unarmed strike. If you're a monk, this is a must-get. So powerful, especially the early game. You must have at least one hand free, holding nothing, to use this feat. Once per round, when you would normally be hit with an attack from a ranged weapon, you may deflect it so that you take no damage from it. You must be aware of the attack and not flat-footed. Attempting to deflect a ranged attack doesn't count as an action. Dirty Trick. Requires intelligence 13, combat expertise, or you need to be a kinetic warrior. This feat gives the character an ability to perform the Dirty Trick combat maneuver. It also grants a +2 bonus to CMB when performing this maneuver and a +2 bonus to CMD when defending against it. You can attempt to hinder a foe in a melee as a standard action. If you attempt to successful, target takes the penalty. Penalty is limited to the following conditions: blinded, entangled, or sickened. Condition lasts for 1 round. For every 5 by which your attack exceeds your opponent's CMD, the penalty lasts 1 additional round. Disarm. Requires an intelligence of 13, combat expertise, or you need to be a kinetic warrior. This feat gives the character an ability to perform the disarm combat maneuver. It also grants a +2 bonus to CMB when performing this maneuver and a +2 bonus to CMD when defending against it. You can attempt to disarm a foe in melee as a standard action. If your combat maneuver is successful, target cannot use his weapon for 1 round. For every 5 by which your attack exceeds your opponent's CMD, the disarm condition lasts 1 additional round. Disarming Strike. Requires base attack bonus of 9, intelligence, and the disarm feat. Benefit: whenever you score a critical hit with a melee attack, you can disarm your opponent in addition to normal damage dealt by the attack. If your confirmation roll exceeds your opponent's CMD, you may disarm your opponent as if from the disarm combat maneuver. This does not provoke attack of opportunity. Normally, you must perform a disarm combat maneuver to disarm an opponent. And realistically, guys, in-game, you're probably not going to be wasting a full attack, basically round, to disarm more often than not. But if you get this, it will literally just auto-proc whenever you crit. So if you're going this far and getting disarm, you might as well get this and get that chance to disarm, especially if you use a weapon that has a high crit range. And special, you can only apply this effect, the effect of one of the following feats to a given critical hit: Bull Rush Strike, Disarming Strike, Repositioning Strike, Sunder Strike, or Tripping Strike. You may choose to use this feat after you make your confirmation roll. What it basically means is, again, you could technically pick up multiple feats, but you can only apply one of them. And I believe this works as a toggle as well. I'm not 100% sure from memory. But you can't, crit and then have multiple of these impact the enemy. What it's saying. Disruptive. This requires a fighter level of 6, or you need to be Arcane. So the DC to cast spells defensively increases by +4 for all enemies that are within 10 feet for you. Dodge requires dexterity of 13. Again, a +1 dodge bonus to your AC. Condition that makes you lose the dex bonus to AC also makes you lose the benefit from this feat. And again, dodge bonuses stack. So this is It may not seem like much, oh, just 1 AC, but this is very powerful, and especially since you're getting it at level 1. Double Slice requires dexterity of 15 and 2-weapon fighting. Your offhand weapon, while dual wielding, strikes of greater power. Benefit: add your strength bonus to damage rolls made with your offhand. Normally, you only add half of your strength modifiers to damage rolls made with a weapon wielded in your offhand. Dragon's Ferocity. Okay. To get this feat, you need to have 5 ranks in mobility, strength of 15, have the dragon style feat, have stunning fists, and have improved unarmed strike. Your attacks of the strength of a dragon, your telling blows striking fear into the enemies. While using dragon style, increase your strength bonus on unarmed strike damage rolls by an additional 1/2. Your strength bonus to a total of double your strength bonus on your first attack and 1.5 times your strength bonus on the other attacks. When you score a critical hit or a successful stunning fist attempt against an opponent while using the style, that opponent is also shaken for a number of rounds equal to 1d4 plus your strength bonus. All right, Dragon Roll. Rather, Dragon Roar, not Roll. You need improved unarmed strike, the dragon style, stunning fists, strength of 15, and 8 ranks in mobility. The spirit of the dragon wells up inside you and bursts forth in a mighty roar. You gain 1 additional stunning fist attempt per day. While using dragon style, as a standard action, you can expend 2 stunning fist attempts to unleash a concussive roar in a 15-foot cone. Creatures caught in the cone take your unarmed strike damage and become shaken for 1d4 rounds. A successful will save of DC 10 plus half your character level plus your wisdom modifier prevents a target from being shaken. All right. And here's the basic dragon style. For this, you need mobility 3 ranks, strength 15, and improved unarmed strike. You call upon Spirit of Dragon Kind, gaining greater resilience, mobility, and fierceness from Blessing of the Great Beings. While using the style, you gain a +2 bonus on saving throws against sleep effects, paralysis effects, and stunning effects. Furthermore, you can add 1.5 times your strength bonus on a damage roll for your first unarmed strike on a given round. Dreadful Carnage. This requires strength 15, the dazzling display feat, power attack feat, and a base attack bonus of 11. Slaying an enemy demoralizes your other enemies or your other nearby foes. Benefit: whenever you reduce an enemy to 0 or fewer hit points, you can make a persuasion to intimidate check to demoralize all enemies within 30 feet as a free action. Enemies that cannot see both you and the enemy reduced to 0 or fewer hit points aren't affected. And again, in this game, this happens automatically. Echoes of Stone. This is unique to the Oread race. You get a +4 racial bonus on perception checks and a +2 bonus on initiative rolls underground. So depending on how much you spend time underground, this is more or less useful. Exhausting Critical. Requires critical focus. Base attack bonus of 15, which means you need to be level 15 minimum. Tiring Critical. Whenever you score a critical hit on a foe, your target immediately becomes exhausted. This feat has no effect on exhausted creatures. Special. Can apply only one effect of 1 critical feat to a critical hit unless you possess the critical mastery feat, which lets you do 2. Okay. Extra Arcane Pool requires you to have an Arcane Pool or an Eldritch Pool. Your Arcane Pool is increased by 2. You can gain this multiple times, and the effects stack, granting you an increase to your Arcane Pool each time you take this feat. Extra Bane Weapon requires you to have the Bane ability. You can use an Inquisitor's Bane Weapon ability for 3 additional rounds per day. Extra Blood Rage. You can Blood Rage for 6 additional rounds per day. Special, you can gain extra Blood Rage multiple times its effect stacks. Now, special note, guys, for you guys, and specifically in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, there's going to be a Mythic Feat that you can get, and it will basically make it so that you can rage indefinitely. So these will be completely unnecessary and obsolete once you get that feat. So very, very broken and powerful. But just to let you know, it's specific to this game, not necessarily like Pathfinder Kingmaker or not necessarily for maybe future games. But in this version, do note that that is something that you will be able to get, and also your companions. So it's not exclusive to the main character. But nevertheless, this is what Extra Blood Rage does. Extra Bombs. You can throw 4 additional bombs per day. It requires your character to have the bomb feature. And this is not like throwing a grenade or something. There is an actual feature that certain classes have, and it kind of it's just like an attack that you toggle whenever you want to throw a bomb. Extra Channel Cleric. You need the feature of channeling extra energy. Now, it's not just clerics that get this. You know, oracles can get this. Some other characters can get it. But you can channel energy 2 additional times per day. Extra Channel Imperial Sorcerer, and requires channel positive energy. You can channel energy 2 additional times per day as an Imperial Sorcerer. Here's an extra channel based off Hex Channeler. You can channel extra 2 times per day. And you'll notice it has the same things. Extra channels if you're a Hospitalier, if you're an Oracle, if you're a Shaman. Then you get extra Lay on Hands. So you need to have either Lay on Hands or the Healer's Way feature in your class. And the Healer's Way is an alternative to Lay on Hands that one of the archetypes or subclasses of the Paladin has. The benefit, you can use your Lay on Hands ability 2 additional times per day. Special, you can gain this extra Lay on Hands multiple times its effect stack. Extra Performance, you need to have the Bardic Performance feature. You can use Bardic Performance for 6 additional rounds per day. Extra Rage, you need to have the Rage feature benefit. You can rage for 6 additional rounds per day. You can get multiple times effect stack. And again, in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, you will get a mythical feat option that will allow you to rage indefinitely. So in this game in particular, I would recommend against picking this up. Extra Rage Power requires the Rage Power feature. The Barbarian unlocks a new ability to use while raging. She gains 1 additional Rage Power. She must meet all of the prerequisites for this Rage Power. This feat can be taken multiple times. So just an extra Rage Power. You can take a look at the video for the Barbarian Rage Powers and to see what those are. Next, you have Fencing Grace. Requires Dexterity 13, Weapon Finesse, Weapon Focus, and One-Handed Piercing. Your dashing style and fluid fencing forms allow you to use agility rather than brute force to fell your foes. Benefits, choose one kind of light or one-handed piercing weapon, such as a rapier. When wielding your chosen weapon one-handed, you can add your dexterity modifier instead of your strength modifier to the weapon's damage. You do not gain a benefit while fighting with 2 weapons or using flurry of blows or anything another hand is otherwise occupied. So, weapon finesse is what lets you use your dex to hit instead of strength. And now of this, you can use dex to do damage as well. Fury's Fall. It requires the trip. You can use strength and agility to send foes crashing to the ground. Benefits, when making a trip attack, you add your dexterity bonus to your CMB. So basically, normally you just add the strength. Now you get strength and dexterity. So you have both. If you have both of those high, you're going to be way more successful in tripping. Great Cleave requires strength 13 as well as the cleave feat. As a standard action, you can make a single attack at your full base attack bonus against a foe within reach. If you hit, you deal damage normally and can make an additional attack using your full base attack bonus against a foe that is adjacent to the previous foe and also within reach. If you hit, you can continue to make attacks against foes adjacent to previous foe, so as long as they are within your reach. You cannot attack an individual foe more than once during this attack action. When you use this feat, you take a -2 penalty to your armor class until next turn. So this is obviously really good with any weapons that have extended reaches, so that you can technically impact multiple more enemies. Next, we have Greater Blind Fight. Requires perception of 15. So 15 ranks in perception. That's level 15. If you put one in every turn. And then improved blind fighting. Your melee attacks ignore the mischance for less than total concealment. And you treat opponents of total concealment as if they had normal concealment. So 20% mischance to the 50%. You may still reroll a mischance percentile roll as normal. If you successfully pinpoint an invisible or hidden attacker, that attacker gets no advantage related to hitting you with ranged attacks, regardless of the range. That is, you don't lose your dexterity bonus to armor class, and the attacker doesn't get the usual +2 bonus of being invisible. Greater Bull Rush. Requires Bull Rush, Strength 13, Power Attack, and a base attack bonus of 6. Receive a +2 bonus on checks made to Bull Rush a foe. The bonus stacks the bonus granted by Bull Rush. Whenever you Bull Rush an opponent, his movement provokes attacks of opportunity from you and all your allies. Oof. All right. It is, we are an hour into this video. So, time for an extra large gulp from Rain Total Body Fuel. Because, yeah, we need this. We need this right now. That's for sure. And no, I am not sponsored by them. Be kind of cool, though. All right, let's move right along. Greater Dirty Trick. A lot of requirements here. Requires the Dirty Trick feat, Intelligence 13, base attack bonus 6, and either combat expertise or you have to be a kinetic warrior. You receive a +2 bonus on checks made to attempt a dirty trick. This bonus stacks with the bonus granted by Dirty Trick. Whenever you successfully perform a dirty trick, penalty lasts for 1d4 rounds, plus 1 round for every 5, by which your attack exceeds the target's CMD. Greater Disarm. Requires the Disarm feat, Intelligence 13, base attack bonus 6, and again, either combat expertise or kinetic warrior. Receive a +2 bonus on checks made to attempt a disarm. Bonus stacks of the bonus granted by disarm. Whenever you successfully perform a disarm, the penalty lasts for 1d4 rounds, plus 1 round for every 5 by which your attacks exceed the target's CMD. Greater Elemental Focus. This requires you to already have either Elemental Focus Acid, Cold, Electricity, or Fire. You choose an energy type to which you have already applied the Elemental Focus feat. Any spells you cast of this energy type are very hard to resist. The benefit is you add an additional +1 to the difficulty class for all saving throws against a spell dealing damage of the energy type you selected, and it stacks with the bonus from Elemental Focus, so between the two you get that +2 difficulty check, class check. All right, Greater Penetrating Strike requires fighter level 16. Weapon Focus, Penetrating Strike, all of those. Your attacks made with weapons selected with Weapon Focus ignore up to 10 points of damage reduction. Greater Shield Focus requires proficiency in either Light Shield, Buckler, or Heavy Shield, fighter level 8, and Shield Focus. Your skill of deflecting blows with your shield benefit. You increase the AC bonus granted by your shield you're using by 1. The bonus stacks of the bonus granted by Shield Focus. So then it'll be a total +2. Greater Snapshot requires Point Blank Shot, Improved Snapshot, base attack bonus of 12, and dexterity of 17. You threaten an additional 5 feet with Snapshot. Additionally, whenever you make attack of opportunity using a ranged weapon and hit, you gain a +2 bonus on damage rolls and a +2 bonus on rolls to confirm critical hits with that attack. These bonuses increase to +4 when you have base attack bonus 16, and +6 when you have a base attack bonus of +20. Greater spell focus requires spell focus. Choose a spell of magic, a school of magic, to which you have already applied a spell focus feat. Any spells you cast at the school are very hard to resist. Add a +1 difficulty class for all saving throws against spells from the school of magic you select. This bonus stacks the bonus from spell focus. Special, you can gain this feat multiple times. The effects do not stack. Each time you take a feat, it applies to a new school which you already have applied a spell focus. So I'm curious, I don't know if anybody can comment below, but I would think that you could pick a school, get these bonuses to get +2, and then within that school, they, let's say, have fire damage, and you had pick in the greater elemental focus, which would be an additional +2. Does that mean you would have +4 to difficulty class for that specific spell of that type of damage and that school? Because if those stack, and I think they should, because I haven't read anything that you can't, that'd be pretty amazing. Would love a confirmation if anybody knows the Pathfinder rules really well inside and out. All right. Greater spell penetration. Your spells and requires spell penetration. Your spells break through spell resistances much more easily than most. You get a +2 bonus on caster level checks, which is 1d20 plus caster level, made to overcome a creature's spell resistance. This bonus stacks of the one from spell penetration. Greater Sunder Armor requires Sunder Armor, Strength 13, Power Attack, Base Attack bonus. You receive a +2 bonus on checks made to attempt a Sunder. This bonus stacks the bonus granted by Sunder Armor. Whenever you successfully perform a Sunder, the penalty lasts for 1d4 rounds, plus 1 round for every 5 by which your attacks exceed the target's CMD. Greater Trip. You need intelligence of 13. You need a trip feat, base attack bonus of 6, and combat expertise, or you need to be a kinetic warrior. You can make free attacks on foes that you knock down. Benefit. You receive a +2 bonus on checks made to trip a foe. This bonus sticks to the bonus granted by trip. Whenever you successfully trip an opponent, that opponent provokes an attack of opportunity. That is huge. You're going to be going for a trip focus, like if you're like a monk and you're getting all your huge, CMD scores, and you're going to go for trip, might as well go for greater trips. Normal. Creatures does not provoke an attack of opportunity from being tripped. Greater 2-weapon fighting. You need a dexterity of 19, improved 2-weapon fighting, and a base attack bonus of 11. You get a third attack with your offhand, albeit at a -10 penalty. Greater Vital Strike. Requires a base attack bonus 16 and improved Vital Strike. You can make a single attack that deals incredible damage. Benefit. As a standard action, you can make one attack at your highest base attack bonus that deals additional damage. Roll the weapon's damage dice for the attack 4 times and add the results together before adding your bonus from strength weapon abilities such as flaming, precision-based bonus, or damage, and other damage bonuses. These extra weapon damage dice are not multiplied on a critical roll, but are added to the total. Greater Weapon Focus. Requires fighter level 8 and a weapon focus. Choose one type of weapon, including unarmed strike, for which you have already selected weapon focus. You are a master at your chosen weapon. Benefit. You gain a +1 bonus on attack rolls you make using the selected weapon. The bonus stacks with other bonuses on attack rolls, including those from weapon focus. Special. You can gain greater weapon focus multiple times. Effects do not stack. Each time you take a feat, it applies to a new weapon type. So you can do it for any of the weapons that we looked at that you can get weapon focus in. Greater Weapon Specialization. Requires a weapon specialization and a fighter level of 12. You choose one type of weapon, including unarmed strike, for which you possess weapon specialization for the feat. Your attacks with the chosen weapon are more devastating than normal. Benefit. You gain a +2 bonus on all damage rolls you make using the selected weapon. This bonus to damage stacks of other damage roll bonuses, including any you gain from weapon specialization. Special, you can gain greater weapon specialization multiple times. Its effects do not stack. Each time you take the feat, it applies to a new type of weapon. Hammer the Gap. It requires a base attack bonus of 6. You repeatedly strike the same location, causing increased amounts of damage. Benefit, when you make a full attack, each consecutive hit against the same opponent deals extra damage equal to the number of previous consecutive hits you have made against that opponent this turn. This damage is multiplied on a critical hit. So the first hit will do normal damage, second hit will do normal damage +1, third damage will be normal damage +2, and so forth. So really good when you have a ton of attacks, like a monk, for example. Improved Blind Fight. You need Perception, 10 ranks of Perception, and Blind Fight feat. Your melee attacks ignore the mischance for less than total concealment. You may still reroll your mischance percentile roll for total concealment. If you successfully pinpoint an invisible or a hidden attacker within 30 feet, that attacker gets no advantage related to hitting you with ranged attacks. That is, you don't lose your dex bonus to armor class. Attacker doesn't get the usual +2 bonus for being invisible. Improved Cleaving Finish. This requires the Cleave feat, 13 strength, power attack, great cleave, cleaving finish, and a base attack bonus of 6. You can use Cleaving Finish any number of times per round. So if you have a ton of enemies around you, like little popcorn shrimp enemies, you cleave one, it dies, proc the next, proc the next, proc the next, it could get nasty. But it does require you to invest 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 feats previously. Improve Critical. Requires a base attack bonus of 8. Choose one type of weapon. When using the weapon you selected, your threat range is doubled. Special, you can gain improve critical multiple times, but it doesn't stack. It's for different weapons each time. And doesn't stack with any other effects that expand the threat range of a weapon, which is unfortunate, which means it would not work with Keen, for example, on a weapon. So what doubling it basically means, normally weapons, the most common critical range is just like you crit on a 20. Well, with this, it would make it increase to 19 to 20. If you had a weapon that's 19 to 20, it would now be 17. You would crit on it now 17, 18, 19, or 20, and so forth. Improve Greater Fortitude. Requires Great Fortitude. You gain an additional +2 bonus on all Fortitude saving throws. Hey guys, it's Leeroy from the future again. So at this point, I'm going to unceremoniously end this video, which is one of 2 of the feats guide. As I mentioned earlier in the video, during my little intermission, originally this was one large video, but because I maxed out the wording when I was doing timestamps in the description, I had to split it into 2 videos so that you guys would have all your timestamps and so that these videos are much more manageable. So sorry about that, but hopefully the extra work and slight annoyances and wardrobe changes are not too much of an inconvenience. So hopefully you guys like this. If you do, like, subscribe, do all that algorithm stuff. Love it. Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming, and I will see you guys in video number 2.